All right, we are going to get into politics and the race and Trump and Kamala Harris, and I cannot freaking wait to get back and talk some politics with you. With you. Maybe I forgot how to talk, but I have to explain to you where I was for the last week. Many of you already know my father, Don Kelly, passed away unexpectedly in the middle of the night. It was obviously horrible, and it's been horrible. And please pray for my family and my mother, Lisa. It is also how I want to go. It's how we'd all want to go. Passed away in his sleep in the middle of the night. So there's that. So let's get past that. I was gone for a week to obviously care for my mother, funeral, all those things. That's where we were. Before I get into the news of the day, I will just tell you this. There's a bunch I could say right now, but I will tell you, you know how we talk all the time about community, legal, local, take back your community, talk to your friends, family, neighbors more. I really saw evidence of how much that means last week, the way my mother's church rallied around her, the way her neighborhood, they were friends with all their neighbors, rallied around her. Wow, you really saw that in times of struggle and times of trouble. So if you've ever been annoyed by how often I talk about caring for your community, taking back your community and things like that, I have bad news. I'm probably going to ramp that up from here. All right? Now, enough of that. And also, one final thing. I did get your endless well wishes, the emails, social media. It all came pouring in. I didn't have time or, frankly, the energy to respond to everything, but I read it and my mother read it, and it meant the world to us. Thank you. I love you. I love you. All right? Now enough. Stop worrying about me. Let's talk about politics, shall we? I feel like talking about politics. I've missed you. So yesterday, flying back from Montana, that's where the funeral was, I finally decided to dig back into politics. So I pick up my phone. I got Wi-Fi on the phone, not to brag. I paid the $8, but I got Wi-Fi on the phone, and I start scrolling through social media. And what's the first thing I really see after this week gone? I see Donald Trump spent the day at McDonald's.
Tight. We got the salt on it. Never touches the human hand.
Very good. Very
nice
good.
And full.
Thank you.
Good. Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. But I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Mr.
Look at that.
Wow.
How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much
You
for
are not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's talk. Is it a political stunt? You know, there's been a lot of criticism. We'll get to the less reaction to it. Of course it's a political stunt. Donald Trump doesn't work at McDonald's. He's a freaking billionaire businessman, former president of the United States of America. So of course it's a political stunt. But there are stunts and there are stunts, you see. When Tim Walz goes out to pretend to be a pheasant hunter, and it's revealed that he has a very difficult time loading a shotgun, which is really quite easy for anyone who's ever hunted pheasants, which I have extensively. Well, that's what you call, it's a stunt that doesn't resonate with people, you see, because he's pretending, it's obvious that he's pretending, yet he's trying to act like he belongs there. Why does this stunt work? Because I sat there on that phone, having just gotten back into politics, and I laughed and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was one of the greatest things I've seen. Why does it work? Because it's self-depreciating. And did you hear what Donald Trump said to the one guy in that video? And there's a lot more clips I could show you, but the guy pulls up and he's so excited, right? He gets to meet Donald Trump. It's made his life, I'm sure. And the guy says, you let us meet ordinary people, said something to that effect. And did you hear what Donald Trump said to him? Trump looked at him and he said, you're not ordinary. Now, Donald Trump's father, a lot of people know this, but Donald Trump's father, who was a businessman as well, used to make Donald Trump go down to their construction sites. They always had these construction projects going on, New York and other places, and he used to make Donald Trump go get involved down there. Now, when you go get involved with normal people and you talk to normal people, when you actually do it, you can learn things that cannot be learned in books, watching the television set, on social media. I can sit all day long. I could sit and listen to construction worker podcasts, if there is such a thing. I can watch construction worker documentaries all day long. I can write papers on them. I can do all these things, but unless I'm there, I grew up in a construction family, but unless I'm there on the job site, smelling the dirt, seeing the men, what do they talk about? What do they care about? Watching what they go through, the hardships, the triumphs, unless you physically experience what normal people go through, even if you're not one of them, unless you physically experience it, you cannot ever relate to them at all in a way that will feel and appear real. Donald Trump can pull off political stunts like working in McDonald's because A, he understands he doesn't belong there. We understand he doesn't belong there. But B, you can tell his respect for normal people. He does this everywhere he goes. He doesn't look down on you. It's one of his great benefits. And I'm more than willing to criticize him when he's wrong or his flaws. But one of his great benefits is he's never been ashamed of you. He doesn't look down on you. Ordinary people like you, like me, who eat at McDonald's, I eat at McDonald's, he gets us. He knows what a quarter pounder smells like. He gets us. He's not beneath that. And the reaction, it's not just what Donald Trump did, but it's the reaction from the left. That is what is so telling about where we are as a country. Here's just a little sample of it.
What is the logic behind this, going to a McDonald's? I mean, we know the guy likes Big Macs and filet of fish, and he's used the word love to describe the way he feels about the food there before. But what's this about?
There's no logic to it. It's a stunt. He has not put forth an economic agenda. He, as you know, appears to be not well. And he's engaged in some really bizarre types of activities during this campaign. We know who Donald Trump is. Just look at him and what he's doing. And is this presidential? I mean, this is not what the country needs in terms of the leader of the free world and in terms of a person who's going to ensure our national security and peace and security in the world. Come on.
We had this talk before, but we're going to have to talk again really briefly here because I know we have a bunch of guests to get to. Bianca Della Garza is coming up. We have so many wonderful guests and things like that to do tonight. But our country, think of it like a big ball of Play-Doh. Stay with me. Big ball of Play-Doh, right? You know what Play-Doh is. And the leadership of this country, the elites of this country, they're part of it, right? You're part of it. I'm part of it. The elites are part of it. Everything's part of it. We're all in part of this big ball of Play-Doh. And Democrats, communists, have consumed and taken over all of our leadership institutions, all of them. They own the schools and the media and corporate America, and they have occupied and infected it like the cancer they are, and now they consume all those things. And that's bad, of course, that's bad. But there is a negative for them as well, you see. They took over all the institutions, and in so doing, they thought that they were the entire ball of Play-Doh. But they are not. They are not. You see, the citizens still matter too. And since they have so isolated themselves in these institutions, they are this little ball that is pulling away from the big ball. They think they should control the whole ball, but they do not, you see. They don't even know how to relate to the normal people in the big ball of Play-Doh. And try as hard as they try, and the harder they try to pull us away and pull us in their direction, they're not completely succeeding. What they're doing is, just like a ball of Play-Doh, they are slowly but surely breaking themselves from us to the point they don't even understand how we live. They don't understand how to relate. to anything. This is completely unrelated, but I'll bring it back in a moment. There was a moment, Lizzo, she's some singer, who cares who she is, she was at a rally in Detroit for Kamala Harris, and she dropped this little line. Listen to this.
This is how a bad saves democracy. You couldn't even spell democracy. Ha! You know, they say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. Okay? Proud like Detroit.
Detroit. What's Detroit for Lizzo? It's private jets. You ever flown on a private jet? Because of what I do, I've gotten to 3 times, 4 times. Never mind, I don't have any private jet, but you know what it's like to fly on a private jet? You don't go to the normal airport. You may use the same runways, but you go to a completely separate area. You drive up. I remember the first time I drove up, and you have to press this little intercom. It's all locked in. And they buzz you in. Yes, Mr. Kelly, of course. You drive your plane right out to the airplane, or you drive your car right out to the airplane, and all the attendants swarm you like you're really important. I'm sitting there, I have no idea what's going on, and they grab your luggage and throw you on the plane, and you get on this plane, and would you like a drink, Mr. Kelly? How about some snacks, Mr. Kelly? Are you ready to go, Mr. Kelly? And you take off, and then you land in Detroit. That's where Lizzo lands in her private jet. She lands in Detroit, and she's whisked away by her armored SUV's bodyguards onto a 5-star hotel, eating at a 5-star steakhouse, goes to perform in some big arena surrounded by screaming fans and security. We love you, Lizzo! And then on her way back to her private airfield where she gets on her private jet, Lizzo looks out the window and thinks she has now experienced Detroit. Again, that's not how the people of Detroit actually live. These people have no idea how to even relate to you. They have pulled away so badly, they're lost. It's why when people shouted at Kamala Harris, Jesus is King or Jesus is Lord, I forget what it was at the rally, this is why she, just her instinct, she responded like this.
Christ is King. Jesus is Lord.
No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
I just can't relate at all. Good for us, bad for them. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're gonna start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.